Yeah, so going back to Nonna, how did it start? How did Nonna Maria start? That's what I want to know. I never
It was
asked you.
how did
Was
it
it-
start? It like I can't pinpoint. There's all these different little factors that lead to like us getting a puppet of an old lady and then start fucking around with it. But basically, I mean, it started with always wanting to make videos, wanting to make people laugh, and with me and the guys, and just wanting to like. We were making videos in high school that, like, whenever we had like
I remember those.
yeah, I
I
remember those
remember those.
fucking,
Yeah, I
like
remember
this was
those.
before, like, I mean, the internet was there, but like there was no YouTube, there was no,
Exactly.
we would just make videos to, put it on a VHS and then we play it in the classroom whenever we get a project. And
Yeah,
it was just, fun stupidities. There was nothing,
yeah.
then there was a little bit of cartoons. We did a bit of cartoons. Then I was doing these cartoons for Pasquale and Rosina Parmigiano.
Yep.
I don't know if you've heard of them. I was doing
Yep.
them cartoons, and I realized, okay, you know what? Maybe I should do my own thing too. Like, I was doing my own thing before. Now I'm doing these cartoons for these people, and every fucking cartoon is the same shit. So I'm like, let me just fucking, come up with a concept. And the first concept was called Minge Bro.
Okay.
So essentially, it was like a cartoon based off of, what it was like to grow up as
Exactly.
in Saint Leonard and go to Laurier and go out and go to Lexion and go to Extremes, and and I made like a little cartoon that went viral-ish, like email viral before there was no Facebook or whatever. And it was called Minge Bro, and it starts off with a fucking the sign of Saint Leonard, and then it's like the yellow Civic smashes into it, and it's like, bro, it's my mom's Civic. What the fuck, bro? Like they're all like, and then they go to the club, and the bouncers, the guy's cousin, they're all underage. They all get in because of it, like it was just stupidity. That was like the idea. The initial idea was
Yeah.
to go there, and I remember one of the characters was going to be like a lion statue. Like he was just this,
Yeah.
just a lion statue. I don't know what he was going to sound like. But he was just like maybe it could have been like an imaginary character. I don't know. And then after I was talking to Herminio, and
Uh-huh.
and I know with Herminio, we used to work at the LDV Center,
Uh-huh.
and we used to prank call the receptionist. And I would pretend to be an old lady, and Herminio would pretend to be like an old man in the background, and I would be asking for like Jocacion tickets. Like, and Herminio would be like, Daman, I started it, like we used to like fuck around, and then, and so he's like, oh, you know what we should do? We should do an old lady, an old Italian grandmother, an old Italian grandfather, and Dave is their grandson, I was like, you know what? That sounds pretty cool. No, we're doing it. So I'm buying the puppet live. Live. Okay, so he bought the puppet. He bought a fucking a Nonna puppet, a Luigi puppet, and a chicken.
Yeah, I remember that chicken, that
And
famous chicken.
a fucking chicken. I was like, and then they came and were like, okay, I started to do a little bit of videos with the chicken. And then, I did a few videos with Herminio with the chicken, and then like some other stupidities. And then we went up north, and then
You brought the puppets up
we
north?
brought the puppets up north. And then like I wanted to do more chicken videos, but it means like, no, dude, let's fuck around. Yeah, let's put on some music and fuck around with these like Italian puppets. Let's just fucking do stupidities, Okay, so he started to like, Eric took the nonno, I took the grandmother, and then Dave was just there, and that's Dave's perfect role. Is he just gets to be there and he gets to react, And then it was like, and it started, I think, with the one where he was just on the camera. He was looking at some pictures that we took, like throughout the day while we're up north. And I go up to him with Nonna, hey, David, ¿qué está afuera? Hey, fama vede. It's like I'm just trying to be as annoying as possible to Dave,
Yeah.
Like, and then like he reacts like, okay, malasha mista. David, it became like this stupidity, And then And then from there, we're like, okay, Dave, you go play Nintendo. It was basically asking Dave to do what he was normally gonna do, but then just have Nonna like
Annoy the shit out of him.
annoy the shit out of him, you know? Okay, Dave, go play Nintendo. So he just sits down and he starts playing Super Mario Galaxy. Hey, Gicar Mario, Mario Samorta. And it's like becomes this, you know. And then we did we did a song, we did a bunch of other stupidities, and we were just watching them and we were laughing every time. We're like, oh my god, I can't believe it. We're laughing. And this was back when like it was on tape. That's how like
Yeah.
it was like 10 years ago, 11 years ago now. So it was like on a camcorder with a tape. You couldn't just like put it on a hard drive or email it to yourself. You know, you had to like plug your camera to the computer and then like have it record. You know, you have to like press record and you know, it's like that was the only way of importing the footage. You know.
Yeah, it's not like today where we could make TikTok videos, right?
Yeah.
Boom, and it's out.
And it's out. That's it. In 3 seconds. It's crazy. Yeah. And from there it was like we put up the first one. You know, I got like 5,000 views. We're like, oh fuck, okay. You know, but this was already because I had put them on my like going back to the Pasquale and the Rosino one. There was some stupidities that happened with them. So I put those videos on my YouTube, and they went viral like on my YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, they were on my website. This before YouTube, they were on my website, and there were already people sharing them on my website. You know, they were sharing them in email and all that. And then I put them on my YouTube channel, and you know, they started to get popular there. And then I started to put up Nonna Maria videos there. So I already had a bit of a base.
Okay.
So I felt that helped in getting to like a lot more eyeballs quicker.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
And now you want to bring it back?
And now it's like you know, it's been up and down, you know, emotionally and like the way the ideas we've always had like so many ideas, and I've always like felt like I never really brought it to the potential place that I could bring it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And a bit of that like comes down to like you know, there's a bit of a fear associated with that because of like, oh, is it going to be good enough? Is it going to be, you know, people are going to laugh? You know, are we going to run out of ideas someday? Am I going to be able to continue this voice? You know, there's all these like things that come up, you know, and a bit too like the scrutiny of the public, you know, that was something that I had trouble with too. Like people just kind of, you know, like, again, you know how they say, like, don't read the comments. So it's 100% true there. Like, you know, the work of doing it is for you, you know, like that one, the actual work, like sitting down and doing it, and then you finish it. And then once you publish it, it's for everyone else. You know, you did your part, that was for you. And then you publish it, and then whatever reaction it gets is the reaction that it gets, you know?
Yeah.
But like every once in a while you have that hard time like kind of separating the two, you know, like you're just kind of like, you know, like you work hard on something and then it, you know, but like, again, I'm probably, go ahead. Sorry.
There's actually right this morning, I was listening to an episode of, it's a podcast called Impact Theory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's very similar to, basically he has a bunch of people there interviewing them, and again, self-development ideas. And this guy actually had a speaker there today, and he was actually talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about this guy's he's an artist, he's a writer. He just recently wrote a book, which right now I'm on my phone, I'm trying to get this guy's name, and he was speaking exactly of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that, you know, he outputs a lot of material, and a lot of these things are always like, people are always commenting on it, and people are always trying to bring him down. Mm-hmm. And basically he explains, you know, this is always going to happen. And this is where actually the creativity starts. His name is Dave Rubin.
Okay. Yeah.
And basically, he actually talks about that. It's always going to exist, and this is where like as either an artist or somebody who creates something,
Mhm.
just to kind of like differentiate the two, because it's always going to be there. Either
Yeah.
people are going to give you a high five or they're going to try to bring you down, right?
Mhm.
So, and he was actually talking about that. That was super interesting. And again, I'll be super honest. Like, I went, those thoughts went in my mind when I started this podcast,
Yeah.
right? And I'm just like, well, at the end of the day, who the hell's Johnny to make a podcast,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Realistically,
Mhm.
I'm not somebody that's a celebrity or that's known to be on. But at the end of the day, I'm like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
If you like it, you'll listen to it.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, well, go listen to something else. I'm not gonna force anybody to do it. I'm
Yeah.
not. People are always gonna be opinionated, just like now.
Mhm.
For sure, people are gonna talk about, oh my god, you were talking about drugs. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you don't
Mhm.
like hearing it,
Mhm.
we're not going to force you to listen to it. So that's the,
Yeah.
I think that's what got me out of it and saying, you know what, just do it, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you'll get the high fives or you'll get the kick in the nuts regardless.
Yeah. Exactly.
Regardless.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're more programmed to react to the negative,
Absolutely.
because we're just wired that way. That's how we,
Absolutely.
it's instinct. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
the 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 living in the forest. If you see a bear, you're running for the hills, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's a different energy. There's different power that negativity brings, and I think it's about being able to harness that power too,
Mhm.
and just it's like you said.
Well, at the end of the day, Nonna Maria was good.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was super interesting. It made
I
me laugh.
I don't think we ever I never really encountered anything that negative, except maybe once when and it was a big mistake, was getting political. I wasn't even getting political. It was more of a message about love, right? We made a message about love,
Okay.
and it was it was pro love. It was anti homophobia, because it came after the Orlando. There was that thing that happened in Orlando where
Yeah.
the guy went into a gay club and
Yeah.
he
Yeah, I
killed a
remember.
bunch of
Yeah.
and so we were doing a vlog and someone asked the question like, hey, no, what do you think about gay people and everything? And like, obviously the character of Nonna as a real Nonna, like, would not, like, because I think what's charming about Nonna is that she's a Nonna. She's from another time. She has prejudices. She has
Exactly.
her limited ways of thinking and everything, and that's a bit hard sometimes for me to do, is to separate those two. Like, it's
Hmm.
hard for me to be like, no, Louis, Chinese, like, talk like
Yeah.
like, because Nonna, like, I feel like the Nonna character, she would be a bit racist, she would be a bit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
she's loving. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, that's the thing, is like, you'll have a Nonna, they'll say something like completely out of the blue, completely like racist, and completely like, wow, that's showing that you're from 1940s and
Yeah.
1950s. But then, like, they're gonna be best friends with the neighbor who's like another
Yeah.
ethnicity, and they're gonna
They
be
gotta love everybody, right?
yeah,
Be
it's like,
nice or bring cookies to
yeah, they
everybody.
bring cookies and they're like, and they love them back, and then this and that. But then when they talk about them, they say words that are like,
Yeah.
okay, those are not exactly the words we would say today to describe those people. So I think we went a little bit on that territory where like, it was a bit too hot to
Okay.
touch at the moment, and the backlash from the people, the especially ignorant people, who
Yeah.
are gonna be like, oh, yo, look at you, now you guys have a gay agenda and all this. And it's like, it's not any fucking agenda, it's just a matter of wanting to respect other people and their choices and who they are and how they're born and however way they're fucking on this planet,
Yeah.
whichever way. And it's like, like, that like that kind of bothered me in that moment where I was like, oh fuck, we tried to say something nice and positive. I didn't say, I didn't go out and say that like, oh, Nonna is now, she's gonna be in the next gay pride parade and all that. I was just trying to say like, oh, like no matter what, you should seek to love another person for whatever way they're being, and whatever feelings you have that may be negative towards someone. Try and understand those, because those are going to help you grow,
There you go.
And just because you have that negative feeling towards someone and their lifestyle and who they are and whatever the country they come from or whatever, doesn't make it true,
Yeah. And
just
it comes down to that, man. Perception. Like whatever you're like, you want to deliver a message, and it all depends on perception. Like we touched on, like one person's going to see it to the left, the other person's going to see it to the right. And it's all what you make it to be. And it's crazy, but that's exactly what it is today. Is that everybody has their opinion, everybody has their perception. At the end of the day, you can't please everybody. It's impossible. It's impossible to please everybody. So
you can't. You got to please yourself. That's what it is. You got to do things that like, and that's what I realized now. I'm bringing it back, but I'm bringing it back in a way that's like, okay, what's going to be funny to me? What am I going to find funny? What do we want to see? Where do we want to go with this character? What do we want to do? It's not going to be about like it's not going to be content for the sake of content, like
exactly.
For me, especially nowadays with like the fucking Instagram is like, there's a lot of Italian comedy accounts out there, like a lot of accounts that have to do with Italian comedy, and they produce a lot of stuff. Like every day there's a new post from a new Italian comedian, or a new not even just Italian comedians in general, but just there's a lot of content that's being posted every day. So it creates this urgency to have to create, and in that urgency to create, like the content diminishes,
Well, yeah, it's over flooded of like, I find that like it's flooded today. It's flooded with at the end of the day, not that it's flooded, but there's a lot more, because it's easier to create and easier to put out there. And I think it's not that it's over flooded. It's just, it takes more time for you to go through it and filter it out and see, okay, what do you like? What don't you like? What are you going to pay attention to? What are you not going to pay attention to? That's the, because I mean, like it could be the same for like fitness people. Everybody's a personal trainer today. All right. So which one, like, that you agree with the most, that you're going to follow? Like which 2 or 3 or 4 people are you going to listen to whenever they post stuff? Because everybody has their different idea of, everybody has a different message, everybody has a different idea. So what do you want to do? Who do you want to follow?
Who speaks to you, And that's the tough part, is kind of filtering that out, because it's crazy, like the amount of, and then like, as someone who likes to create and wants to create and wants to put out stuff, you feel like you need to do it at that speed. And that's where I'm at. Like, I like to take time to think things through. Like, I wrote a script for like a 1-minute video I want to do. Now I'm in this, and now I'm storyboarding it. And then today I added the sound, and I'm like, okay, does the joke work? Okay, it seems to be working. I showed it to 2 people. They laughed. They found it funny. Okay, the joke's working. Now the next step is preparing the actual, day to shoot it, to get the shots, to edit it together, to get the sound. It's like, it's a big undertaking for like 1 minute of video that's going to be thrown out into this like sea of people who are just taking like this, and they're just like at the,
boom,
they're walking around and they're like, hey, what's up? And then they take that like 5 minutes, and I'm not saying everyone's like that. There's
but it's I believe in like I'm the same way like you. Like I think a lot of things through, and it's all about creating value. So what are you bringing, right? Everybody, and at the end of the day, like you said, you're creating it for yourself. So how do you want it to look? Like, what's the final product? What's the
Mhm.
message you want to
Yeah.
deliver?
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing like photographers, right? It's like I'm into photography.
Hmm.
I'm not a professional photographer, but I like pictures of certain things. And then a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, you know what? You should have adjusted your camera to this instead. Okay, but wait a minute. I like black and white photos.
Hmm.
I'm obsessed with black and white photos. I could have adjusted, you're right. I could have adjusted the camera to get that particular shadow more in the front end of the picture. But I don't want it to be that way. I wanted the opposite because
Yeah.
to me, my eyes, that's what pleases to me.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, everybody has like their
Yeah. Yeah.
own view of things. And at the end of the day, it's like, if it's your product, how do you want it to look at the end of the day? So
Yeah. Yeah.
the process is everything because it's yours. It's like your
Mhm.
process, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And art is I mean, they say art is subjective, but I believe that art is subjective. There's
Mm-hmm.
art speaks to different people in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also something to be said for quality, you know?
Exactly.
And quality is a different word. It's a different world, you know? It's something that, like, if there's a piece of art that, like, I don't usually, I don't know, say I'm not crazy about like a certain genre of music. You know, everyone hates on country, for example, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
but then there's just some country songs that like kind of they stand out, you know. There's a certain quality to them
Yeah.
that you don't experience in other country songs, you know. And you know, and this is, you could sense that even though it doesn't speak to you, you could sense there's a quality behind it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think like people kind of don't make that distinction as much anymore.
But that I totally agree with. I
Mhm.
totally agree with that because I'm I think the problem today is that everybody wants everything fast.
Yeah.
Okay. And I touch on this like on so many levels with so many, everybody wants everything fast and they want to indulge on 15 funny videos in 15 minutes
Hmm.
instead of just saying, I watched a good one.
Yeah.
This was really good. And it stays stuck in
Yeah.
your mind and
Hmm.
it stays there. And it's like, wow, that was good. Okay, wait, I got to go back and rewatch it because I have to see something in their brain stays there. And I think that's what people need to create more and more is more of that instead of like this high paced
Yeah.
go just
Yeah.
produce more, let's do more. It's
Content for the sake of content, you know.
exactly.
And that's
Exactly.
and that a lot of that is like the algorithm, you know.
Yeah.
Like the algorithm likes when things are consistent. It likes when things are you know, like the
Yeah, like
company I used to work for, they do that. They produce YouTube videos, and essentially what they're going for is like they're feeding what the algorithm wants, you
yeah.
know. It's like the video itself, the content is okay.
Hmm.
It's meant to, it's clickbaity. It's like it's meant to, like, oh fuck, what's this video about, you know? Oh,
Yeah.
you know, like it has a title that's like meant to catch you, to put you in there,
Hmm.
and then hopefully you stay and watch the whole video.
Exactly.
And their thing is, okay, let's just shoot out a bunch of these videos like over you know, as short a time as possible, and get as many people to stay and watch views. And that's where,
It's all about the
yeah,
likes. The
yeah.
likes and the follows. I do the opposite. I tell people not to follow me.
Hmm.
Like, don't follow
That's
me.
good.
Like,
Yeah.
who cares?
Hmm.
Like, you're gonna follow me on Instagram because like I'm whatever. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not my purpose to get like for you to click like or for you to follow
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's I want you to listen,
Hmm.
see what people are saying, what you're talking about, and
Yeah.
if you
Yeah. And
like it, eventually you're gonna follow. But it's not
yeah.
like
if you like it, and then you connect to it, and then someone else who's of similar mind, you're going to talk to them about it,
Yeah,
and then you grow organically rather
exactly.
than and like one of my one of these bits I had was like, we're at a point where now where we're like, we created YouTube, right? And then YouTube, I'm talking about them like me and you. We didn't
Yeah,
create
yeah.
YouTube, but like humans created
Humans.
YouTube. And then you like Google put in the algorithm to help people find videos that might interest them
Yeah.
easier. But now people are creating videos for the algorithm, and that's making shit very weird, because now like for example, kids, I don't know if you've ever watched, like my nephew, like when he watches YouTube, anything to do with kids, like when he was younger, they would put like a video for him, and he
Hmm.
would watch on YouTube, and then that would lead to the next video and the next and the next, and then like you end up in a part of YouTube that's like fucking weird. It's like, dude, it's like I can't even explain it. I was watching the videos, I'm like, where, like, how did we even get to this video? And the video has like 300 million views. Like, it's not even a joke. It's like, the fuck, it's this video of like a finger family, or it's and
Yeah.
so one of the weird algorithm things, and you could go on YouTube after, but like make sure you're like in incognito mode, because if you search it in your own account, it's
Yeah.
probably gonna like bring up a bunch of these videos thinking that you're interested in them. But it was like these Spider-Man and Elsa videos.
Okay.
So basically some people figured out that putting Spider-Man and Elsa in the title of your YouTube video, like it'll somehow
Drive people to watch
drive,
it,
exactly, and
and
especially
and it
like
has nothing to do with that.
uh I mean, you have videos where there's people dressed as Spider-Man and Elsa, and their videos are weird. It's like Spider-Man, pregnant Spider-Man and Elsa. So you have like a pregnant Spider-Man, and you have a frozen Elsa, and then you have the Joker who comes in
Oh
and
my god.
steals the baby from Spider-Man, and it's like this fucking weird shit. But they're just making it so that it goes into the algorithm.
Yeah.
And then eventually there's some kid who's sitting down, the parents plop them in front of the TV, and they're making YouTube just fucking play
Run,
automatically.
and they end up on that shit.
And they end up watching it, and it gets 300 million views. And so the algorithm's like, okay, like, it's working. And people are just making videos for that part of the algorithm. So it's
Yeah.
become like this reversed shit. It's like we created the machine, and now we're creating for the machine. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very strange. And
It's
the,
great, but that's what social media's has reached today. I think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I do the opposite. That's why I tell people don't follow me.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah. Like, kind of like, check it out. Here's me. Check me out.
yeah.
If you like it, follow, and that's it.
Yeah.
Don't, I don't know. Like, I can't stand when like on Instagram when someone sends you a funny picture, like they send you a post.
Yeah.
And it's like you go to click on the post, and it's a private. It's a private account.
Yeah, and you
But
gotta request it.
you got to request, and then the account has like 6.6 million followers, and you're like, that's bullshit. I'm not gonna fucking. And then it's like you're just following this shitty meme account, and
Yeah. Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
it's bullshit.
And it was just to watch that particular.
Yeah, just that one video, and and just because of that one video that they probably stole from another artist or from someone who made it, they get a follow because your friend. Like, it becomes this weird game.
Yeah. It becomes wild.
Yeah.
The wild game of social media. The best is when
Mm.
you actually see videos like of people how to, or coaching on social media.
Yeah.
We'll coach you how to become famous on social media.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Instagram best practices.
What?
Yeah.
Use these hashtags.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's everyone's an expert. Everyone, but no one's accounting for like people's paths in life. Like,
But I think
no
that's why
one's.
we are. I think that's why where we are today. That
Mhm.
so many people forgot that that whole thing, right? Is that you see so many people posting so many pictures, And if you actually look at an account, you say, okay, well, what's this about?
Hmm.
Like, who's this person? Like,
Yeah.
same location, same colors, same filter, different outfit.
Hmm.
So are you a fashion designer, a stylist,
Hmm.
or you're just somebody that likes taking pictures of themselves,
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like this whole,
I know.
and people forget the whole thing. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, who the fuck are you? Like,
Yeah.
who are you? Like,
Yeah.
what do you do? What do
Yeah.
you do?
Yeah. What's your day to day? And I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe that's the thing is you can't. There's no way in a Instagram account you could get every facet of who someone is. You know.
It's impossible. Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, but you get a part of. I feel like you get a part of what someone kind of wants you to see, or wants you to think
Yeah,
they are, and that's interesting. Like I
you
think,
see what's going on in their minds.
yeah, you see, like I don't know, like sometimes you'll go to an account and every picture is a selfie, and I try not to be judgmental, but it's like I don't know, like are you a little bit obsessed with like what's I don't know, I can't like in my right mind have trouble even like taking the phone and like even pretending to do a selfie,
I
it's
can't.
like
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I can't get a good picture of myself.
yeah,
I'm not photogenic
right,
to begin with. One, and then if I try myself, it's even worse.
that's
It's
it.
like
It
like
becomes
this
like
is
this.
bad. Like,
Yeah.
this is bad. I can't do this. Like,
Yeah.
I can't put this out.
Yeah. And
It's
some
like,
people are
fuck
like,
it.
"What?" They're at the fucking grocery store. They're like,
Yeah. So I take pictures of like what I eat, and
yeah,
it looks
yeah,
good.
yeah. It looks good. That's why I like stories because I get to, and with stories, you put it up and it's there for 24 hours. And,
That's it. It's done.
like now I find there's so much commitment to having to post a picture to your actual Instagram profile because it's like, fuck, people are going to be able to see this till now until.
Exactly.
And then maybe sometimes you're just overthinking the whole fucking shebang. And
Yeah. I think that's a big
yeah.
part of it, and that's why.
Mhm.
And so that's why reason like I try to focus more on the shit we spoke about today, and it's like
Mhm.
how the mind works. To
Yeah.
me, that's more. It's weird because it's not as tangible because it's very broad,
Mhm.
but it's easier than for me than posting pictures of myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
as,
sure.
as stupid as it sounds, but it's
Yeah.
true. For me,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, of course, And it's funny we're talking about that too. I just started reading a book called Digital Minimalism.
okay.
And like I'm kind of taking May to kind of dedicate to that step back from all that stuff.
Okay,
Because
nice.
especially with quarantine, like it was easy to fall into because you're just, you know,
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
you're inside. What else are you gonna do?
What does this
So,
involve? Like minimizing social media or what?
I
Or
mean, I'm not that deep into the book, but like it's essentially you take a break from your digital devices and everything, and then you return to them selectively.
okay.
Like you look at them and you're like, okay, which ones are really bringing value into my life?
Yeah, yeah,
And like it's tricky because especially like if you're creating content like say this podcast, or let's say I'm making videos for Instagram, it's like
yeah.
how do I approach Instagram in a way that's productive and not gonna fucking fuck with my well-being.
Exactly.
It's how do I post stuff on there? Like sometimes I need to go on Instagram because I have to check someone's let's say for the Zoom meeting that we have to do, I have to check
Yeah,
the number for the thing. And oh, I got a message over there, okay, let me check that. Oh, who is this? Oh, and I end up somewhere else.
it's somewhere.
And I'm like, well, I had to come on Instagram for a reason. And I was like, oh fuck,
Yeah,
you lose track. You just like end up like, you
yeah.
know,
It sucks you in.
yeah, it sucks you in.
It
It's like,
sucks you in.
oh, I got a
It it
like. Oh fuck,
it
like,
gets the best out of me too. Sometimes I'm just
mhm.
there, and like next thing you know, I'm there for like half an hour,
Yeah,
and it starts with responding to one message, and next thing you know, you're having a full blown conversation with someone on Instagram through DM,
Yeah.
when you realize that this is a good friend of yours, you have their number, you could easily
Yeah.
place a phone call, or and it's like,
Yeah.
why am I talking to you here? Just
Yeah.
because I saw one of your pictures, I commented, and boom, it's
Yeah. Yeah. You do a podcast with them. Like,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
just get them on the podcast. You know?
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. So anything else? Any other projects that you're looking for through your quarantine, or
Basically, I mean, um, the main thing is like thinking about Nonna in a different way, you know,
yeah,
in a more creative way that's going to entice me to do it, not thinking too much about how it's going to be perceived. Even though we've always had positive perception, you know,
yeah,
it just shows you how your brain fucks with you and says, okay, it was good before, but this one's going to suck. And I have that thought with every project, you know, like, okay, yeah, just because you did that one good, this one's going to suck for sure. And then like people, you know, they respond positively, and then, you know, so it's always dealing with that.
You know what I think? I think you need to have a sit down with Nonna,
Yeah.
talk to her,
Yeah.
see, you know, like one-on-one, see how she feels,
Yeah.
and you know, maybe get
Yeah.
some advice from, you know, her, or get like wisdom from Nonna, you
For
know.
sure. 100%. You're 100% right. You have to channel that non wisdom, you know. And you know what's she gonna say? She's no, bravo, deve fare, yeah, you know, like it's good to do it, you know. I mean, in the end, you know, what's left, right?
Exactly.
There's just you gotta, if you have an idea, I think you should try your best to attempt it, you know.
Yeah. So
And that's,
I have a
yeah.
question right there on that spot there, because you brought
Mm-hmm.
it up. And it's a question I like asking people.
Mm-hmm.
Is in 10 years from now, where do you see yourself?
Oh my God, in 10 years, I'm gonna be 46. Fuck. You know, it's funny because I was like talking with my girlfriend, and I'm like, my girlfriend's she's very good at um planning.
Okay.
She's amazing, and she does things very well.
Whereas you don't plan?
Whereas I'm like, fuck, I have trouble. Like if I wake up in the morning and she asks me, so what are you gonna do today? I get anxious because I'm like, I don't know, I didn't think it through yet, you know. So to think like, where am I gonna be in 10 years? Like, I don't know. Like if you would ask me that 10 years ago, like, and 10 years ago was like basically when we created Nonna. I was like, you know, that I always wanted to uh, do. I love animated cartoons. I love film. I
Mhm.
love anything that's like wacky and, you know, like out there. And so my hope is that in 10 years from now, I'm still creating, and what I'm creating is wholesome, and what it's spreading is love, it's positivity, it's getting people to think, because I think we have to look at all facets of life. I think that's important. I think it's more than just like you know, I know there's a positive thinkers, and I think having a positive mindset is very, very important to living a good life. But also there's things that we deal with, you know, and it's not about like ignoring what you're dealing with. It's about facing it head on. So yeah, in 10 years, if there's anything I would love is to just have a space and have an outlet as well, where uh, the resistance between having the idea and then having the final product is greatly minimized.
Yeah.
That would be the ultimate thing. Like, and I think that's the practice we're having, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to continue your podcast, and with every podcast, you're going to get better.
Yeah.
You're going to get better, and it's going to get better, and you're going to, you know, it's
It's
going to get more
ever
and more
evolving.
refined.
Ever
Yeah.
evolving. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're going to get to a point where like you have an idea, and then the idea is going to be, you know, done. And now it's about reducing that time, you know?
Yeah. Exactly.
And I think that always expands and contracts, because like I was at a point when Nonna Maria was like, that was like, okay, I have an idea, let's do this. And then like, you know, within a couple of weeks time, we had a video, you know, and it's like, so I want to kind of get that back, but without breaking my head too much,
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
without burning out, without like taking
without
the time.
overthinking it, like in a without overthinking it, but in a negative way,
Exactly.
like over analyzing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, oh, I got to do this. Oh, I have to do this in a week. Like take your space that you need.
Yeah,
Don't feel so bad about like, not being the hustler that the world wants you to be. Like
exactly.
you go on LinkedIn. I can't go on LinkedIn. All I see is those videos of people like, hey, you got to hustle. You got to work hard, work 16 hours a day. And it's like, no, that doesn't speak to me. Like what
Exactly.
speaks to me is being able to have that balance between like having a conversation with someone, and then like maybe like like maybe later on like a nugget from this conversation is going to inspire me to do something, and connecting those dots. And I find like that doesn't happen if you're always like too fast paced, or
Exactly. It doesn't work. It works for some, but not for everybody.
exactly. Yeah.
And if it does work for some, you have to, in my opinion, it removes the human element to it.
Hmm.
And once you remove the human element to it, well, how long is it
Yeah.
gonna speak to people or work for people?
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
take on it.
Before you have to get onto the next whatever,
The next hot stuff.
the
So
next trend or whatever it is.
yeah,
But yeah, that's an interesting question. Now I'm gonna have
yeah.
to.
Well, it's okay because I ask people,
Yeah.
and then some people ask it back to me,
Yeah. I was just about to actually.
and
I'm not
and
just saying.
and I always have the same answer: is I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a general idea,
Mhm.
but I can't say this is what I want to do, because it's always changing,
Mhm.
and I always have a list of projects that's going on,
Yeah.
and the what I put first always changes.
Mhm.
So it's like,
Yeah.
at one point, if you remember, there was my whole music thing that was
Right. Yeah.
going on, and I put that, and then something else came up, and I put
Yeah.
that, and then okay, well, wait, I'll go back to the music, and then I'll go back to this. So it's always changing, and it always goes with my moods,
Yeah.
and it's always gonna change, and I think
Yeah.
that's the way my brain works. And on top of it, I think it's what keeps me going, is that it's
Mhm.
always changing, it's always going in different directions, and then
Yeah.
I pull it to one direction. And so I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It's as simple as that, my answer.
I feel you on that one, man. It's tough to, you know, it's tough to stay like on one thing,
Yeah.
because you want to explore too, and that's a bit too. Why Nonna was like a little bit of the. I'm like, oh, let me explore my own what other ideas I have that are not related to Italian Canadian culture, that have to do with myself and what I
Yeah.
experience, and now it's like going back to Nonna, because it's like, okay, Nonna's something that I feel is not finished, and I want to be able to bring it somewhere where I feel like, okay, this is good, this is, like I
Yeah.
want it to be like a good, like, it won't ever be perfect, but it'll be something that people could watch and get and garner positivity from, and good feelings, and laugh at stupidities. And that's the hope, maybe even feel a bit sentimental. I don't know,
Well, you
that's
know what? I always have this thing is, if you want to do something, the hardest part is actually getting it started.
yeah,
Just
100%.
do it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
let it, once it starts flowing, you're gonna see that, I think, like
Yeah.
like with everything else in the world, right? Or
Hmm.
like, even if you want to, like, like, I go back to relationships. How many people stick around in shit ass relationships
Yeah.
just because they can't break from that barrier to say, okay, I'm done, or I need something new, or I need something better, or this is what I
Yeah.
want. So,
Yeah.
and then once they do, they're like, oh my god, why did I wait so long?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
always that reaction. So,
Yeah. 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 Fantastic, man.
all right. So, I know you have an interesting Instagram. Where could people find you?
I don't know if it's that interesting. I think I
Yeah,
post
it's
one
interesting.
picture a year.
No, but I saw
But
your picture of the St. Lawrence River with the horses the other day.
oh yeah,
It was
yeah,
fantastic. It made
yeah.
me laugh.
Yeah, I do it more. I do more stories than I do actual posts there. But
Yeah.
like my last post was like a meme post that I put together from Mad Max, the film there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I had this stupid idea and I sat down and I shot it out. But yeah, so the Zimpa is my Instagram, and then you have Nonna Maria's Instagram, which oh my god, looking it up right now, Nonna Maria TV.
Okay.
So that's where you could see more Nonna Maria stuff. We posted something not too long ago where you know, having to do with the quarantine, and it's like a meme. Now we're essentially, the focus right now is memes and shorter videos,
Yeah.
and building that up to more long form videos where we could have the time to tell an actual story, you know.
Okay.
That's what I
Nice.
want to do. I want to be able to tell, like, I have these stories with none of that I want to tell, but to get there, I think we have to build the smaller form content first, you know.
Okay.
So the idea is to do like these little videos of like 1 to 2 minutes. Maybe we're thinking about doing live videos too.
Nice.
Just
Yeah.
having Nonna Maria, you know, that's again, and that's why I have like the green screen here, the
Yeah.
microphone, the light set up, just so we could like see how we could do like a live video. That's
Nice.
more than just Nonna just like talking to the camera. It's like having, you know, the feeling I want people to get is you're watching something with Nonna.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Nice.
the idea would be like to get like a piece of content, a video or something that Nonna could react to, and people could join in live and watch the video with her, and she's commenting and people are commenting and she's commenting on people are commenting. So kind of create that sort of aliveness, you know?
Yeah. That
and also I think things are kind of going in the direction, you know, like live, you have Twitch TV, you have
exactly
YouTube live. So just to be able to explore, you know, a bit.
Yeah, it's getting it's getting up there, and it's more it's almost more personalized. You're engaging people, right?
Yeah.
So you're getting that engagement other than that you know, that click like or comment. People are actually engaging into.
Yeah.
And so many people are doing this now because of this quarantine. You know, people are hosting shows, they're hosting they're, you know, whatever, they're hosting parties, whatever it is, and then you have people that are engaging, and
yeah,
it's I think it's going to be the new way of interacting for a while.
I think so. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's interesting, man. It's interesting. It's definitely allowed for some interesting conversation, ways of, you know,
yep.
reaching out, and it's pushed a lot of, you know, I think Netflix introduced like this thing where you can watch movies together, like on the
like watch parties.
Watch parties, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's interesting.
I've seen that. Yeah.
I feel like that's something that's been missing from film, was the film and TV shows in general, is the fact that like before you had to wait till the show aired on TV to watch it, and everyone would watch it at the same time, and everyone would be on the same page. And now it's like, oh, bro, did you watch Game of Thrones? Oh, what season are you at? Oh, okay, you're all the way there. Okay, I won't spoil it. Okay, you know, like, what did you think? You know, it's like everyone has to be careful about what people are watching because no one's like at the same like part of it, you know.
Exactly.
So I think watch parties would be interesting too. Like
yeah, I think it's a good concept to look into for sure.
For sure. Yeah, it's nice to watch movies with people. I think they're meant to be consumed in a group, you know.
Exactly.
So, you know, sometimes you watch a good movie, you watch it by yourself, but it's
who do you talk to after?
Who do you talk to after?
Who do you talk to? What do you think about this, right?
Yeah, you know, you have to find that other person who watched that obscure random movie you found on Netflix because you typed the real movie that you wanted to watch wrong. And so you watch this other movie and you're like, oh, fuck, that was pretty interesting, but then no one else has seen it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. All right, so thank you very much for joining the
thanks for having me, man.
Yeah,
it was a nice surprise to hear from you. And
we went a bit everywhere, but it was good. That's the way I like it. And no holds bar. I took a pee break in the middle. It was fantastic.
Amazing.
This is exactly the way I want it.
Beautiful. I love it, man. Thank you for having me, dude. I really enjoyed it.
It was a pleasure, and thanks for coming on. Interesting mind as always. So
thank you, man. And you know, after this, we go smash that coffee. You know, we all
Hopefully
remember.
soon. Hopefully
Yeah,
soon, because that's one thing that I'm missing.
yeah, yeah. It was fun. Those times when I was working at Olympico and you would come with your dog. How
It
is your
was.
dog, by the way?
He's good. He's
He's
good. He's
good.
fantastic. Yeah.
You'd stay at the window and
Yeah. He's living the life because I'm home all the time, right? So
Oh yeah,
he's.
that's it. That's it. Us too. We have a little mutt, and she loves it. That
Nice.
that we're just home, and it's amazing.
Perfect.
All right, dude.
All right. So thank you very much again, and
Thanks for having
be
me.
safe.
You too, my friend.
All right.
Ciao, brother.
Bye bye.
Bye.